back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back pickle biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
The UFC's current female bantamweight champion Amanda Nunes is ready to leave her mark on the sport with the Cris Cyborg fight, moving up 10 pounds and fighting Cris Cyborg to become a two-weight world champion, the first female two-weight world champion of the UFC for sure. How insane would that be? And you know, it's a race because actually Valentina Shevchenko was not a UFC bantamweight champion. I was saying it's a race because we know Valentina's moving down to the new 125-pound division, but Joanna Jędrzejczyk, maybe Carla Esparza, well, no, it'd have to be the same. If Rose Namajunas moved up and fought for the 125-pound title, that could be the first female two-weight world champion. But if that doesn't happen, Amanda Nunes can move up and fight Cris Cyborg. We've heard about this fight a lot recently. Now there's a lot of stuff going on with this fight we're going to talk about in this video. A lot of stuff from the Megan Anderson fake news to Amanda Nunes and Cris Cyborg kind of, verbally agreeing to fight before, then after the fake news. Alright, let's get into everything. Alright. So, before the Cris Cyborg fought Holly Holm at UFC 219 in the main event, and Cris Cyborg defended her title, Amanda Nunes said she would like to fight the winner of Holly Holm and Cris Cyborg. And if you remember, I was saying, I hope she keeps that same energy if Cris Cyborg wins. And, because before Amanda Nunes and Cris Cyborg had, we've heard about them not talking about fighting, but we've heard of the discussion of Amanda Nunes versus Cyborg as a possible fight. And it was more along the lines of, they seemed friendly about it. Cris Cyborg said she didn't really want to fight a fellow Brazilian, and she's kind of kept up that same tune recently. But they were like, fuck it, we're both champions, we're down to fight. It's kind of like when teammates are, kind of like Tyron Woodley and Rafael Dos Anjos. It's like, we're not just going to fight for fun, but if it's for a title, hey, it is what it is. We got to get in that octagon. This is our job. So that's this situation, and it looks like Amanda Nunes is still down. Now, Cris Cyborg, on the other hand, she has said that she would rather defend her title versus a legit featherweight who actually called her out, Megan Anderson. If you guys remember, also before the Holly Holm Cris Cyborg fight, or actually right after the Holly Holm Cris Cyborg fight, after Cris Cyborg was announced the winner, Megan Anderson took to social media and said, that was a great fight, ladies. Now I'm looking forward to Cris Cyborg defend. There's only one fight to make. I'm looking forward to Cris Cyborg defending her belt versus a legitimate featherweight. And she was talking about herself. As we know, Cris Cyborg and Megan Anderson were supposed to fight in the UFC before at featherweight. For some reason, it might have been visa, it might have been personal. Megan Anderson wasn't able to make the fight. Hell, it's Cris Cyborg. It might have been she reconsidered who she was about to get in the cage with. Now, I don't think that's the case. Megan Anderson has always seemed down and game to fight Cris Cyborg. But if you listen to the MMA, Ariel Helwani did say that whether it's visa or personal issues, Megan Anderson might not be able to fight Cris Cyborg just yet. So it was interesting to me when she called out Cris Cyborg right after the fight. And then lo and behold, right after she called out Cris Cyborg said, hey, I've accepted the fight with Megan Anderson. We can do it in your hometown, UFC 221. And then Megan Anderson kind of called that fake news. Like, even though Cris Cyborg accepted to fight me, I wasn't actually offered the contract, and she wasn't actually offered the contract, and I don't think I'll be ready by UFC 221. And that kind of reminded me of, be careful what you wish for. Like, she called out Cyborg hoping she wouldn't accept the fight maybe, and then Cyborg was like, yo, okay, let's do it in your hometown. And she was like, whoa, I ain't even got the contract yet. Chill. But I don't know if it's personal issues, I don't know if it's visa issues, and I don't know if it's just that Cyborg, she don't really want that smoke, but it is what it is. It's looking like that fight was called off. Fake news. Megan Anderson might not be ready to fight in her hometown versus Cris Cyborg title fight. But you know what it is, man. This is an opportunity. This is a title fight. This is for, a lot of people, whether or not you feel like you can win, take that fight. We see Colby Covington campaigning to fight Tyron Woodley. There's not a lot of people that really want to fight Tyron Woodley. The only reason they want to fight Tyron is because he's the champion. It's not because they're like, oh, I'm about to whoop Tyron Woodley's ass. It's like, Tyron Woodley has had a problem finding. It's kind of like Kamaru Usman. There's not a lot of people jumping to fight Kamaru Usman, but Emil Meek is like, yo, I want to fight a ranked opponent. So you take the opportunities you're given. So when it comes to a UFC title shot, it's got to be a serious issue keeping you away from that opportunity fighting a UFC champion, you know, because we've seen Michael Bisping upset Luke Rockhold. We've seen Rose Namajunas upset Joanna Jędrzejczyk. You know, anything can happen in a fight. So, whatever it is with Megan Anderson keeping her away from and in her hometown fighting for the UFC title, it's got to be something serious now. And it can't really be visa issues if it's in her hometown. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if you got to fly to another country and your visa's preventing that, but to fight in your hometown, it's got to be some really personal issues. So with that being said, Amanda Nunes is ready to leave a mark on the sport with the Cyborg fight. She's reiterating it. She just said this January 5th. Today, she's doubling down and saying, first of all, I have nothing against Cris Cyborg. I do what I believe is right. I do what I believe is the fight that everyone wants to see, and the fight where we can both leave our marks on the sport. So very, very fucking, this fight is amazing, and really it's like a win-win for Amanda Nunes, and it's dope to see her get that opportunity if she does get it. If Megan Anderson doesn't want the fight, really, who else is there? I mean, I've heard of like Cindy Dandois. I don't know much about her, but I mean, come on, if it's Amanda Nunes or this chick we don't really know, and it's not Megan Anderson, I'm picking Amanda Nunes all day, because for one, Amanda Nunes has been healthy. She doesn't really have an opponent to defend her belt against. It was supposed to be Raquel Pennington at UFC 219. Raquel Pennington was in like a car accident. Fight was canceled before it was even announced. So Amanda Nunes is ready to fight, ready to defend her belt. But she's really knocked everybody off. She beat Valentina twice. She went down to strawweight. The other number one contenders at bantamweight are who? I mean, Miesha Tate's retired. I mean, just who else is sticking? Who else did Amanda Nunes beat right before Valentina Shevchenko? She hasn't fought Holly Holm, but the thing about Holly Holm is she's like, she's always the right answer. I would be fine with an Amanda Nunes versus Holly Holm fight, but I think she's like 2-4 or 1-4 in her last 5 fights, even though they're all 5-round fights and over half of them were championship fights. I mean, there's not really a clear-cut number one contender in the bantamweight division, so why not move up? Cris Cyborg, it's always hard to find her an opponent, and Amanda Nunes is down. Plus, win-win for Amanda Nunes. If she loses to Cris Cyborg, hey, it's motherfucking Cris Cyborg. You would have, everyone loses to Cris Cyborg. She's a whole nother monster. And, as far as fighting is concerned, she's just, dominates chicks. And if it happened to Amanda Nunes, I don't think anyone would really look at Amanda Nunes as the worst fighter. And then if she wins, she makes fucking history. The UFC's #1 pound for pound. And, I'm telling you, Amanda Nunes I'm a huge fan of Amanda Nunes, a lot bigger fan than a lot of people. She's got a better chance versus Cris Cyborg than anybody that's ever fought Cris Cyborg. Holly Holm, anybody. Because we saw what Valentina Shevchenko, when she fought Holly Holm, it was sort of one-sided Valentina Shevchenko's way. And we saw Amanda Nunes beat Valentina Shevchenko twice, even though in the first fight, whatever the hell happened toward the end. In the 5th round, we just know Amanda Nunes beat Valentina Shevchenko twice. So you have to say Amanda Nunes, and I know MMA math doesn't work that way, but I think Amanda Nunes would beat Holly Holm as well, just like she beat Valentina Shevchenko. Not in the same fashion, but I think she would win, and hopefully we'll get to see that fight, Nunes versus Holm. But for right now, Amanda Nunes versus Cyborg, Amanda Nunes is for sure the most talented fighter Cris Cyborg will have ever fought. And if we can't get a legitimate 145-pounder, as they want to say, to fight Cris Cyborg, who better than the 135-pound queen, the champion, the lioness, Amanda Nunes? That is the perfect fight. Huge fight. The more I think about that fight, Amanda Nunes versus Cris Cyborg, the more I want to see it. Now, one thing about after Megan Anderson declared fake news on Cris Cyborg's accepting the fight, she said, what was she saying, man? Cris Cyborg came out after that, and she said, I really didn't want to fight Amanda Nunes. I kind of accepted it, but really, she's a fellow Brazilian. I'll fight her, but I would rather fight a legit featherweight, and blah, blah, blah. So, and I understand where she's coming from, but at the same time, it is what it is, man. I want to see this fight. Amanda Nunes wants this fight clearly. She's got nothing against Cris Cyborg, but she said it's the fight everyone wants to see. And I think low-key she realizes it's a win-win, because I just thought about that this video. Dope situation. So with that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what the fuck you tell me in the comments. And oh, by the way, thank you to Stephen C. I don't want to say your name. I don't know what your name is in the comments, but I'll just say Stephen C. Thank you for the $25 donation toward the broadcasting computer. The computer we got, dog. That fucking helps greatly, man. Can't thank you enough. One of the second donation of 2018, man. So coming in strong. The hot $25. Steven C, thank you very much. Let the full-time fan know what the fuck you talking about in the comments, man. I'm thinking about this fight, Amanda Nunes versus Cyborg. This has to happen, yo. Definitely not at a catchweight. Cyborg had a hell of a time making 140, but 145, Amanda Nunes, I'm fucking all the way in, dog. You got my money. And put it on a card with another big fight. Yo, I'm in.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOG.